If you were to meet me individually, you'd probably ask me a few questions. Say, what's your name? It's Garth Bickerton. Where are you from? I'm actually a farmer's son from Tonwell. What do you do? And I will say, I help and support social entrepreneurs. It's not the best chat-up line, is it, when you talk to me? Mostly people glaze over that point, mainly because I'm from Tonwell in the first place, but mainly because the word social entrepreneur, what does that mean? And I've tried to explain it to them. And as far as I've got, when I've talked about there are social people with ideas who are acting entrepreneurial, who are actually perhaps making some money as well. But the easiest way for me to describe it is I'm like a secret millionaire with somebody else's money. I work for an organisation called Unlimited. We are a charity, although as my mum says, I've never heard of you. We're not one of these charities that needs to go around with the boxes around Tesco's. We are what's called an endowed charity, and we sit on legacy funding originally provided by the Millennium Commission to the tune of £100 million. If anybody dreams, as I dreamt, if I could win £120 million on your lottery, that would give you around about £6 million worth of income, even if you set it in a pretty safe investment portfolio. I've got a little video which briefly says what we do, so I won't bore you, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story.
Over the UK, people like you are creating ideas that give everyone an opportunity for a better quality of life. Let's have a closer look. Take Bob and Julie, for example. Bob used to be a banker, but he's retired now. Bob knows how hard it is to manage your money when you're young. He's been thinking about spending his spare time teaching young people how to look after their money by using the skills he learnt at the bank. Julie has already started an arts and crafts project in a local community centre. She gives young mums a chance to create and sell the work that they make. It's been so popular with everyone, and now she wants to try and start up even more classes. Bob and Julie have two very different ideas, but both are helping to improve the lives of people around them. They may not know it, but they are social entrepreneurs. Unlimited is for social entrepreneurs. We support people like Bob and Julie on their journey by offering one-to-one support to help them plan their ideas, expert advice to solve difficult problems, and a range of resources, all to help them on their journey. Every year, Unlimited helps nearly 1,000 social entrepreneurs across the UK to make their ideas grow. If you care about making the UK a better place for everyone, and you're interested in what we do for social entrepreneurs, visit www.unlimited.org.uk/journey.
That gives you a sort of overview of what we do. I'd like to give you a little bit of the spirit behind it. When I grew up in South Wales, I went to Tonwell Common. Hated South Wales. Hated growing up here. Hated what I saw as the narrow-mindedness, the valleys mentality, the grimy streets, the terraced cottages. Hated it. And I was very fortunate. I had very pushy parents who sent me away. And my first light bulb moment, I was doing a job. I'm actually an ecologist by training, and I was doing a job in a little place called Shotts, which is a little run-down mining village between Glasgow and Edinburgh. And I'd only been there 2 months, and I really loved the place. It was a lovely community, run-down mining area, and I thought I could actually stay here. But what I missed, actually, was I didn't have a cultural heritage there. When Hamish came in the pub and talked about his uncle, who had been involved in a fight 16 years ago in the pub, I didn't know who they were talking about. And at that point, I realised everything I had in Shotts I had back home. I had that heritage, and anybody who's brought up in the farming community in the valleys, anybody I speak to now would know my dad, and I know where I came from. And that was very important to me because it took me to go away to develop a pride in my area. And I meet lots of people, young people in my later career, of trying to develop that pride when they don't have the opportunity to go away. Because we live in a very beautiful part of the world, and we live in a fantastic part of the world, and we should be proud of that. The second thing I came back was to, and this very broad heading, was to make a difference. I've been brought up with a very big social heart that you did for others as much as you could do for yourself. Initially as an environmental campaigner, then into environmental improvement, then environmental improvement through community regeneration through environmental improvement. And I spent many years as a community development officer down here in Barry, planting trees, daffodils, Gladstone Road School. We did a major scheme there. And then latterly I got into community development, and my last job was including whatever the PC word is for socially excluded young people, and I refuse to use the word NEETs. But then my second light moment came. I was now on the grant giving side. I was helping organisations, trying to develop communities. And I happened to go on a private matter back to an estate that I knew very well. My mother was a teacher there, the Hendra Organ estate, just outside Gilbert Gore. And I walked around that estate looking for somebody. Somebody who had fly tipped on my father's land. And I started asking people, had they heard of these people? But then I started asking them, because I just pulled down £500,000 European funding to help that area. I now had a staff of 45, and suddenly I realised that nobody had ever heard of us as an organisation. And 20 years later, I felt the area was no better. That's my bitter and cynicism of the whole community development agenda. And I realised on the grant giving side, every time I'd given a grant to an organisation, I wasn't giving it to an organisation. I was usually giving it to an individual who had a vision for that venture. 39th Cardiff Scout Groups, I always sticks in my mind, where they weren't just happy to redo their old scout hut, but they went on an ambitious plan to do £1.5 million new community centre. That wasn't the 39th Cardiff Scout Group, that was Howard Desmond, and I remember him today. And so when I became totally bitter, cynical, depressed about the whole grant giving side, and walked away, and I thought I'd go and work private sector because I could make some money out of it, Unlimited came along. And this idea of helping the individual struck a chord with me. Unlimited at that stage didn't know what he was doing. Many people would say, we still don't know what we're doing, and long may that continue. But what we do is we believe in individuals to make a difference. And individuals can make a difference. I was brought up, another story, my grandfather used to take me to a rundown market town in the middle of nowhere, and we used to have lunch with an absolutely totally mad, eccentric individual, who'd call himself Lord Booth of Hay-on-Wye, with an absolutely crackpot idea of making it the book capital of the world. Everyone's heard of Hay-on-Wye now. You get Bill Clinton and everybody go there. Individuals can make a difference, and what we believe, government, politicians, can only do so much. It is also up to the individuals to take an active part in their community, and we can help you do that. We have some fantastic people. We have people like Angela Gorman, who set up an organisation called Life for African Mothers, which saves around 45,000 people a year. We have fantastic people in communities. Why we're here today is we believe that people like yourself can make that sort of difference. We can work with you with your ideas and hopefully make Barry, make the world a better place. Why have we chosen Barry to target this time? Because, as I said, it's probably me, because I haven't I've got a long history with Barry as a community development worker. I think somebody mentioned there's 60,000 people here. We've made very few awards here at Barry, and we believe there's talent here. And the ideas, I think Paul mentioned an idea. Well, if there's nowhere for young people to go, then come to us and say, I want to do this, and we'll see whether we can do it, and we'll give it a go. I have a very strong affinity for Barry because of the people we have helped as well. We obviously have been involved with Andy. So what we're looking for is we do provide cash and support for people who have an entrepreneurial solution to a social problem. And what we would hope to do in the new year, unfortunately my manager is unavailable at the moment, is to help you, if you've got an idea, an entrepreneurial idea, to take that forward. It's especially poignant, I think, because one of our finest, best, loveliest people I ever knew was from Barry. I'm glad her family is here today. Lucy Dickinson, who set up the Safe Foundation, and with permission of the family, we'd like to make a lasting legacy for Lucy in the Barry area by doing the Lucy Dickinson Award as well, and looking for somebody to take that forward on a yearly basis. So I hope lots of ideas here today, and if you've got any of those ideas, please have a look on the website, and please contact us and see if we can help you. Thank you.